Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to tackle three tiny little words that cause so much trouble in English: at, on, and in. I know, they seem super simple, right? But which one do you use and when? Well, don't worry, stick with me, and by the end of this, you are going to be a total pro. So let's just jump right in. Have you ever stopped to think, why do we meet on Friday, but in the afternoon and at 3 o'clock? It can feel completely random, can't it? Even for people with a great vocabulary. But believe it or not, there's actually a super simple system hiding in plain sight. And today, we're going to unlock it. Okay, so here's our plan. We're going to start with the golden rule that clears up most of the confusion. Then we'll break down in, on, and at one by one. And to finish off, we'll look at a couple of key exceptions. Sound good? Let's do it. All right, listen up, because this next part is maybe the most important thing you'll hear today. Seriously, if you only remember one thing from all of this, make it this idea: the inverted pyramid. It's just a simple mental picture, but it's going to help you get the right preposition pretty much every single time. And the whole idea behind it is actually incredibly simple. I want you to think about time like a big funnel. We start way up at the top with the biggest, most general chunks of time, and then we get narrower and narrower and narrower, all the way down to the most specific, tiny points at the bottom. General to specific. That's it. That's the whole secret. So here's exactly how that pyramid looks. You see that wide top part? That's for in. We use that for the really large periods, like years, months, seasons. Then, in the middle, things get a bit more specific. That's where on comes in, for single days and dates. And finally, right at that sharp little point at the bottom, that's at, for the super precise, exact moments. So let's break each of these down. Okay, let's kick things off at the very top of our pyramid with the most general preposition of them all, in. The best way to think about in is like it's a big box or a container. We use it for these large general chunks of time when we don't need to be super exact. Things like centuries, years, months, seasons, even general parts of the day, like in the morning. And just look at the range here. We can say something like in the 15th century, that's 100 years. But we can also say in the morning, which is just a few hours. So what's the common thread? The key is that they are all periods of time. These containers, they're not a single specific point. Okay, to make this really stick, let's pretend we're planning a party. The very first step, right? We need to pick a month. So we'd say, hey, let's plan a party in December. See? We've just dropped our party idea into the big container called December. We don't have a specific day yet, just that general time frame. All right, so we've got our month locked in. Now we need to get a little more specific. We gotta pick an actual day. And that means we're moving one step down our pyramid to the next level, on. On is all about pinpointing a specific spot on the calendar. Think of it like taking a sticker and putting it on one single day. It narrows our focus from that big, general month down to a specific day or a date. Yeah, it's kind of like the bridge between the super general and the super precise. Just take a look at these examples. We use on for a specific day, right? Like on Tuesday, or a specific date, like on March 21st. Ooh, and check this one out. On Monday morning. Now this is a cool one. Because we specified the day, Monday, we have to use on, even though we just learned that morning by itself uses in. The specific day is more powerful. So, back to our party, we started out in December. Now we've looked at the calendar and picked a day. So the next thing we say is, okay, we decided to have it on Saturday the 14th. You see that progression? We move from the big box of the month to one specific spot on the calendar. That's what on does for us. Okay, we've got the month, we've got the day. Now it is time to get really precise. We are moving down to the very tip of our inverted pyramid. We're talking about AT. At is your tool for absolute precision. It's for the exact moment something happens. The laser pointer analogy is perfect for this. Imagine you're pointing a laser at one single tiny dot on a timeline. That's at. We use it for clock times, for certain holidays, and for specific moments like at lunchtime. And yeah, these examples are all about that pinpoint accuracy. At 6 o'clock, at 4:15. These aren't periods of time, they are specific points in time. Oh, and here's a neat little tip for you. In British English, you'll often hear people say at the weekend, but in American English, it's more common to hear on the weekend. Both are correct, just a regional difference. And now to complete our party plan.
Let's recap. We started way back in December. Then we narrowed it down to on Saturday the 14th. And now for the final detail, we set the exact time. The party will start at 8 p.m. Boom. We've gone from general to specific, perfectly following our pyramid. In, on, at. See how it works?
Okay, so you've totally got the main rule down. The pyramid is your best friend. But now let's get into the pro-level stuff. We're going to cover just a couple of key exceptions that will really make your English sound even more natural. Now here is a really subtle but super important one. We usually use at night when we're talking about any night in general. For example, I often work at night. But if you're talking about something that happened during one specific night, you should use in the night. Like, I heard a strange noise in the night. It's a tiny little change, but it carries a different meaning. And finally, here's a really easy way to sound more fluent. Sometimes the best preposition is no preposition at all. That's right. With words like next, last, this, and every, you just drop the preposition completely. So you wouldn't say, I'll see you on next week. You just say, I'll see you next week. Getting this right is a huge step towards sounding totally natural. So you see, it really does all come back to that one golden rule. Whenever you're feeling a little lost, just stop and ask yourself, am I talking about a big, general container of time, or am I talking about a specific day or a precise point? And that pyramid is always there to be your guide. Remember, big, general periods get in, specific days on the calendar get on, and those super precise, laser-focused moments get at. Simple as that, from the top down to the point. And really, that's it. It's a simple system for what seems like a really complex problem. So I'll leave you with a little challenge. Take a look at your calendar for this week. Can you talk about your plans using in, on, and at correctly? I bet you can. Give it a shot. Thanks so much for tuning in.